Good morning, everybody. Here we are for another live roll reveal. This one is reveal number 646. It's a 1949D plastic tubed roll. Hope everybody's doing great today. We're going to get started right away and get the coins out of here, which do look pretty nice. Trying to keep everything in order, being really careful. But this one is it's an H.E. Harris tube. Last coin always gets stuck in the roll, in the tube, inside the tube. So I have to slam it on a surface until it falls out, which is very stupid. This tube immediately in the garbage. This is what I'm talking about. H.E. Harris tubes are marked H.E. Harris on the bottom. Don't ever buy those. They're ick. Coins don't fit properly. All right. There's Mickey. Dan's here. Dirty Water. Good day, folks. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Flip everything over here. First coin on the left to the first person chubby pop chaser. Let's see what we have. 1949D, known for a number of more minor RPMs. I don't know specifically about double die reverses for 49D, which probably tells me that we don't have much of anything for 49D. We can check though. Let's do that real quickly, just so we have better educational knowledge here. $19.49D. Couple of doubled eyelids. Another one here. This says Class 8. Weak partial vertical bar and portion of a crosslet of the 4 northeast of the primary 4 of the date. And then there's another one that shows on the inside of the 4. So we've got a few double die obverses. Really nice RPMs as well. And that appears to be about it. So like 1948D until yesterday, we had no double die reverses listed, so we'll be sure and check through the first 10 coins very carefully, and thereafter we'll leave the rest of the discretion and decision to Eric Beyer, who is our local die variety attribution expert right here at Copper Coin Central. There is Sergeant First Class Eric. How you doing, buddy? It's an interesting little dot we got going on up there. Okay, let's take a look at the reverse on this one. Didn't get anything on the obverse. Let me back out just a little bit here. Keep us from going snowblind. There we go. Alright, what do we have? Nothing. Got a roll ender, and that's about it. And a roll revealer 5. That's right. Let me move this up a little bit here. Would you stop messing with me? Here we go. There we go. Okay. Got everything together so that I can see everything going on now. Okay. Next coin up, number 2. Number 2 is going to go to Dan McCumber. He happens to be here right now. So if we get anything, he'll actually see it happen live. Or, you know, with a 30 or 40 second delay. But who's counting, right? I see nothing on the obverse of this coin. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse side. I think I might have heard something different out of this one. Let me check it after I get finished with this little bit here. I'll let it settle on the desk and listen to it and see if it has any odd sound, because I thought I just might have heard something. Nope, it's normal. C'est normale. Alright, that's coin number 2. Let's find ourselves a coin number 3 for Frosty. Frosty's coin number 3 here. And it is nothing on the date or mint mark area. Well, wait a minute. We might have a minor split upper serif here. Boy, that's really hard to tell. It is, yes, the coin's a little damaged in that area. It's got a couple of little hits on the mint mark. Made it a little difficult to determine what I've got, but yes, I do have a minor RPM there. So that's going to come out and go into a pile of die varieties. There we go. Let's check the reverse. Nothing known on 1949D for the reverse double dies. Yeah, look at the color on this one. That's an unusual blend. I like that. No doubling though. So Frosty gets that one. Was a little wood grained. A lot of these are a little wood grained. They turned out pretty good though. I like them. Let's see, what do we have next up? This one's for Sissy. Sissy did pretty good with our 48D roll yesterday. This one is an RPM. Pretty nice little RPM there. I like this one. There you can see the bottom serif is very well doubled. And first beat at a marker appears to be a die dot kind of right below the D. I'll keep looking for a better marker though. Something that will help us for sure discern that this is this die and not another one. So we don't have a listing number for it, so we have to use markers to pick them out from one another. Looks like a little die crack just underneath the front of the vest toward the rim. I think that's what that is. Yeah, it looks like a die dot or a die crack down there. Underneath the front corner of the vest. Looks like a little white dot right now. Okay, and we'll check the reverse on this one. See what comes out of that. That is late die state right there. That's mushy. That looks mushy. I don't care who you are. A couple of little tiny die chips here and there on the wheat. Don't have any on the left wheat, but just on the right wheat we've got a couple. Nothing else here though. So, hello Weldon Carey. Got an RPM to identify, figure out. Alright, next coin up is for Taco John. And that looks like another example of the same die we just pulled out for Sissy. Let's see if I have anything here. There's a little fiber laying on the coin. And I'm not really seeing anything for markers, which kind of tells me that's what I'm looking at here. There is this little thing right here is what I'm calling the little die crack. So that is the same die as Sissy's. Don't need to look at the reverse in detail because, well, it's not going to have anything on it. We do have some color on these coins. I mean, some of this is pretty nice. Not wholly outstanding, but not bad at all. Come on, focus for me. There we go. Not bad. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. We've got 2 RPM so far. One for Sissy and one for Taco John. And let's take a look at Ant's coin coming up next. Coin number 6. And it is not the same thing. This one's it doesn't appear to be a die variety at all so far. Let's take a look at the eye area. A lot of these are later die state. They're a little bit mushy. You can tell because of that feathering on the outside edge of the outer devices. If you've lost most of the definition of the shape of the outer side of the lettering and numbering toward the edge of the design, you have a late die state. If you've completely lost all design shape altogether and it's just turned to mush, that's a very late die state. But this is a late die state coin. Late die state obverse anyway, not coin. The reverse could be different because the dies are not always necessarily changed out together. So the wear on one side could be different than the wear on the other side. This is getting more toward very late die state. This is kind of what it looks like. When the die reaches the end of its usable life, you start losing design features altogether. I mean, when you're just looking at the coin with the naked eye, you can probably read all of this, but you're not going to get those lines back. Those lines are gone for good off of this die. What we got there? Is that a nope, that's a little linear hit on the coin. Kind of looked like a die crack there for a second, but it's not one. Good morning, Eric. Or good afternoon. No, good morning. It's still morning in the United States. Weld and carry. If you care to sub to the channel here, you'll see a whole lot of interesting educational things regarding Lincoln Cents. We have auctions every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. My name's Chuck. I am in the Eastern Time Zone. I live in North Carolina. And we just hit a Larry. A Larry is what we call a fingerprint. That is an RPM, although it's a late die state RPM. So I run these shows where I reveal the contents of rolls of coins that have not been gone through for die varieties, to my knowledge. I haven't looked at any of these coins. And I go through and try to find or discover anything that has relationship to die variety, being a double die, repunch, mint mark, any of that stuff. Then we list them on coppercoins.com if they're not already listed there. And if we do list a coin in the roll, we mark it as a plate coin, send it to the collector, and it becomes, what do we have here? Oh, that is a mistake. This one goes to Doug, not Stan. But anyhow, we list those coins on the website, and they are then a part of the website that other people can use to attribute their own die varieties. It's fun, educational, rather inexpensive, and very easy on you guys because, well, we're doing all the work for you. And because we're doing all the work and going through these and then listing them, photographing, sorting them, mailing them, and all of that, and, well, the ones I do, they're looked at here in North Carolina, and then they're shipped to Eric in Florida, where Eric in Florida, Eric Beyer, goes through the rolls, picks everything out of them, reholders them with new flip inserts so that you know what die numbers you have. Takes us about 2 weeks. So from the time you see this show to the time you should receive your coins should be somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks. And that's just normal processing time for everything we do. We go through a lot of work on these coins to be sure you guys get what you are paying for. Indigenous treasures. Bethlehem. I see a lot of toning. Not heavy toning, but very light toning. I see a lot of it in this roll. Look at that. Look at that. That is not... I don't think that's the same die that we've been after so far. It kind of looks like it could be. But we'll, of course, have to take a much better look at this and determine what it is and identify it. But we definitely have some color on this coin. Sorry about that. A little froggy in my throat this morning. Haven't had enough coffee. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. This is the same die. Yeah. See that left leg of the A of States? Kind of gone? Well, that's how I recognize that. Being the same die as the one we've already looked at. So IT gets a nice RPM as well. Coin number 10, off to Carl. Let's see what Carl sees on his. Another. That is the same die again. Another RPM there. And a nice toned coin. Pretty colors on these. Weld and carry. If you'd like to register, all you have to do is use that email address you see there on the bottom of your screen. Send us an email, give us your YouTube name, your real name, and your preferred email address where we can send a PayPal invoice, and we'll get you registered up immediately, and you can participate in these pulls or in these reveals. We have mystery coin pulls where you definitely get your money back on that. And then we have our auctions every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But you have to register first. It's easy. It's free. Air conditioner guy? Who's air conditioner guy? You talking about me? My air conditioner went out this past week. Cost me $1,200 to fix it. That wasn't easy to swallow. Alright, here's one for Doug. All of these coins have a little bit of color on them. Some of them a little more than others. So this one for Doug is another one of our RPMs. You're going to pull it out. Your air conditioner's been out for a week and a half. Oh my gosh. That has to be really tough in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, huh? Oh my gosh. I totally feel for you now. Ours was out for about 12 hours. Actually, more like, it was closer to 24. Because it went out one morning and our AC guy showed up the next morning. Did it for his first run. I didn't realize who I was contacting, who I was talking to when I got him secured to come do the job. And very odd thing, I could go out my front door and look down the street and see his work van any and every day. He lives 2 doors down. And he came and fixed our AC. Thank you, Stephen, if you happen to be watching, which I highly doubt, but never hurts to get a little bit of a shout out once in a while. I'm looking at the obverse on this one again to be sure I don't miss anything. Okay, that one's for Crispy. So I move on. Coin number 14 now from Mark. got nothing on the date mint mark area. It is a relatively clean looking coin compared to some of these others. So at least it's in pretty decent shape, huh? Heck, we had a master boom yesterday with that 1948D double die reverse in reveal number 645. I can understand a roll having a little bit of a break on the channel there. Oops, that was not one of the RPMs. Okay, number 15, Frosty. Mr. Frostbite. Let's see what happens with you here. That is an RPM. That's an interesting RPM. It appears to be different from the others that we found so far. It has a pretty decent sized stretch in the lower serif there. On around the design, and we find a lot of die wear. Not much of anything else, so a lot of die wear. See what we have here on the reverse. Very, very worn die. Worn out die. Minting coins. Makes coins that don't look pretty under a microscope. Although if we just look at the coin, they're not too bad. They're pretty decent coins. Carl. Carl up next. Let's see what he finds. Yeah, we got nothing on the mint mark. Nothing on the date. And not seeing anything on the obverse of this one. I flip it over to the reverse and see what we see there. A mark above the O of 1. But other than that, we just have a 1949D Lincoln Cent for Carl. Number 17 coming out the gate right now. Chubby Puck Chaser gets this one. And what is it? Well, the obverse is normal. Been through nearly half the roll on the reverse and have found nothing so far. Nothing is known for 1949D on the reverse side. So at this point, I think I'm just going to go with obverses and check for those RPMs. We'll see what we can do with them. I need a little while to get set up for my other reveals for today, so I skipped an hour in my scheduling. The next reveal will be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I've got one scheduled for 1 p.m. and one for 2 p.m. There we go. That's cool. That's another one of the RPMs right there. Kind of neat looking. I like it. And then we have the auction this evening at 7 Eastern Time. I have a lot of rolls. A lot of rolls. Mickey, you're on deck. You're going to have to come and help me out. Get all that mail ready and out. Okay, here we go. Next up, this one's for Eric Maith. Nothing doing, I don't think. Nope. Got nothing on this one. That's unfortunate. Let's see here. Let me move these just a little bit so they're easier for me to get in and out. There we go. Alright, so Eric's coin. Very nice color on this, though. I like the color. Hey, focus. It's got nice toning. This is Eric's coin. Nice, nice. See, it doesn't have to look beautiful under a microscope for it to look nice. Not under a microscope. A microscope really doesn't do coins justice when it comes to their beauty, unless they're doubled. There's another RPM. So for the RPMs, I mean, they can be almost invisible to the naked eye, but when you look at them under a microscope, they jump out at you. But the toning and the overall condition of the coin cannot be determined by looking at it through a microscope, because you're looking at it almost on a molecular level. You got to back way out to grade a coin. No way can you use a microscope to grade a coin, because part of the grade of a coin involves its luster, its surface, its eye appeal as an entire coin. All things that you can't see under magnification, because you have to be looking at the entire coin at once. The things that you can tell, such as marks, bag marks, and other things that kind of detract, are highly magnified. They're very, very large. And we, well, of course, don't get... I forgot what this was. Okay, there we go. Of course, we don't get the correct view of the overall with this much magnification. I got Roger coming up next, and Roger gets an RPM. How about that? You can see that split on the lower serif real well. The split on the upper serif isn't quite so obvious. Got a lot of color on this one too. See how ugly that right side, that left side under LIB of Liberty looked? Now let's look at it under this. Come on. See, it's not bad at all. Well, I hope Mr. Borland enjoys that one. That's a nice coin. Let's see, number 23 now for Carl. Almost halfway through the roll. And where are we? Number 23. Here we go. This one is a minor. 2 minor, I think. RPM. It's got just a little split on the upper serif, and the bottom serif is just slightly elongated. Not even really split very well at all. Maybe it'll hit right on the head. Yeah. Nothing really there. Crispy's up next, and Crispy will get this coin. Well, not much of an RPM there either. Now sometimes you'll see I drag my finger out and over the lighted area so I can change the direction of lighting real quickly. And changing direction of lighting can often help you see things that you couldn't see with a different direction of light. So that's all I'm doing, is using my finger to help change the light enough so that I can check things that I'm curious about, just to see if that doubling or whatever I'm seeing is really actually there. Splits on serifs can often... Oh, damn. Nice. That's RPM 1 right there. Sweet. Frosty got him a nice one. Look at that other D. Very far to the northeast. Love it. Boys and girls, this is what it's all about. Right here. Finding my little precious. Right there. Frosty, you got a beauty. Ogre coins. Good morning. OGIR. Can you tell me what that stands for? That's an interesting name. Is it ogre? Augur? I would think ogre. Alright, let's see. This next one doesn't really have anything on it, unfortunately. Roger might be feeling a little skipped these days. Anybody who wants to can register with us using that email address right down there. Ogier. Okay, Ogier. There's another RPM. Well, it's not the number 1, but it does have a soft split in the lower serif and an odd shape that spells out RPM. In my language, it does. That's for Stan. Yeah, you know, work stuff. I quit that work stuff. It was getting too stressful for me. So I decided I was kind of done with it. I had ideas of being able to go through and sell Lincoln Cents and write books and sell them and do that for my basic income. So I quit doing the regular JOB thing at, good Lord, what was it? 48 years old. I'm 56 now. I've been doing this for a little while. Been doing Lincoln Cents since 1975. It's been just a day or two. A hot minute, you know. All right, Ant2242 up next. Got himself one of those little tiny minor RPMs. You just barely see the split up there on the top. There's a little hit on this one. Makes it really hard to see. It's not going to be a listable RPM, but it is a very, very minor one anyway. So what does Ogre stand for? It's interesting. Is that the name of a place? Is it Old Grumpy Introverted Recluse? I'm just throwing guesses out there, thinking that maybe one day I'll get one correct. $31 on to Sissy. Let's see what Sissy gets here. Oh, she got one of the RPMs. This is the most common RPM in this roll. Rego. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that. I get curious about stuff and I just don't know, and it bugs me and bugs me. So Rego wasn't unique enough? You know, there's a country in Northern Europe called Latvia. It has a capital city called Riga, R-I-G-A. That's immediately what it reminded me of when we flipped the name around backwards and I read it backwards and it said Rigo. I'm thinking, Latvia. Probably means nothing, but it's one of those things. That was another one of the RPMs. I have an inquisitive mind. I like to know everything I can possibly know. I like knowing stuff. I like sharing what I know. I like sharing to understand things I did not previously know. Rigo is a Mexican Spanish singer, so my channel wouldn't show up easily. Ah, okay. Makes sense. They have to compete against somebody's name. I forgot what this one is. Alright, now I know. Not an RPM. That was for Surig, coin number 33. On to coin number 34 now. Ant 2242, good morning. 75 in pennies, baby. She likes how I say that. Okay, this is another one of our minor RPMs, but this one appears to be enough to list. I mean, nice and clean looking. I'll set this one off so that when Eric is going through and separating the different dies from one another, he'll see this and perhaps consider including it. I'm not highly excited by it, but we're not in the business to list what excites us. We're in the business to list what exists. List it. If you can exist it, list it. There's another one of those RPMs. So there's at least 3 or 4 different RPMs in here, including that one, number 1, which I wish we could duplicate 50 times. That would be interesting. Let's see. If we can at least get one more. How about one more? At least one more. There's another one of those minors. This one going to Crispy. A little bit of a lamination peel down there on the bottom. That's a little fold over layer of coin that did not adhere very well to the layer below. Kind of peeled up a little bit. Not uncommon completely, but they're not very common either. Let's see. That was coin number 36. Now 37. Going to go back to Stan. Let's see what we can get for Stan here. Another one of those little RPMs. This is the one that's got the spread on the lower serif pretty well. So this will definitely be one of our listable RPMs for sure. Nothing else on this one. Man, the color on the back of this thing is just extraordinary. It's beautiful. Look at this. That's the reverse of the same coin. We got some colorful little babies here. Nothing wrong with some color. All about that. Alright, let's see. Mr. McCumber. Mr. Dan. Yeah. This one's going to be a normal 49D, but it does have some pretty color on it. Does have some nice color. That's coin number 38. Now on to 39 for Farm Dog. And another normal one. Number 40, Paul Hampton. Oh, there's a nice little split lower serif right there. I haven't seen that one in this roll so far. It's a pretty nice looking coin too. Ah, looky there. Eyelid doubling. Tripling actually. So we've got a doubled, possibly tripled eyelid. We've got a little RPM on this one. So this one we have not seen. Let's flip it over and look at the reverse just for S's and G's. No, got nothing on the reverse. That was kind of expected. But hey, you never know. If you don't look, you can't know. Decent little RPM. S's and G's, smiles and giggles. Keep it family friendly. Another one of our RPMs with the lower split serif. This is a pretty nice one. Nice coin, nice color. There's a lot of color on this. And a lot of these have color that changes as you go around the coin. It's kind of cool. That means that this roll was possibly stored in some heat at one time. Used all my attributing numbers for all your finds. Great job at what you do. You're a valuable asset to the coin collecting hobby. Thanks for being an accessible person. Source. Thank you, Ogre. I definitely appreciate that. Always appreciate it when people send me nice notes. I do the very best I can to not be one of those people who tries to play overlord, that I'm bigger and better and I know more than everyone else. That's just not me. It helps me when you know more. So why would I want to hurt my own future by keeping secrets about what I do? I stand on top of the mountaintop and teach people if they would listen. There's another nice RPM there, 1949D. We got a lot of these little RPMs, probably 4 or 5 different dies that we're going to be able to attribute for sure, including one. It's a RPM number 1, which should be very easy to attribute, correct? And it's number 43. We're going to be running, I'm going to count these because we're going to be running probably a 50-50 on die varieties to non-die varieties in this roll. And there were a couple that I left behind because they were too minor. So, get ready to be impressed. All right, let's see. That one's from Mark. It's got nice color. It's a pretty coin. It just doesn't have anything on it. Coin number 45 now. 45, back to Sissy. Let's see what we can do for Miss Sissy. There we go. Another RPM for Sissy. These aren't the prettiest coins as far as die state is concerned, though. They're a little mushy. I'd like for them to be a little sharper, but hey, we can't expect everything to be perfect all the time. There's number 46 for you here. This one goes to Indigenous Treasures, Bethel Ann. What do you get? If I can find it. There we go. Well, that one happens to be a normal coin. One of the normals. It's got nice color on it, though. What? Somebody see Sissy? Oh, Sissy is in here. Hey, Sissy. I've been meaning to ask you a question, Sissy. Yesterday, in case you haven't seen it, we discovered a new double die reverse for 1948D Lincoln Cent. The reason that's a big deal is because it's the first ever 1948D double die reverse Lincoln Cent. There's not one listed on Variety Vista. There's not one listed on doubledie.com. And, well, up until now, there's not one listed on coppercoins.com either. But we're going to change that. We found 5 or 6 of them in the roll. And I'm happy to report to you, Sissy, that I think you got 3 of them. And my question to you, listen to this, guys. This is how you get on your knees and grovel to somebody. Is whether you might consider the possibility of allowing me to keep one of them. Because, well, you get 3, I get 0. It doesn't sound friendly. Of course, I'll credit you for the coin. I'll even pay you for it if you want me to. But I would just like the opportunity. Oh, you say yes. Good. Awesome. Because, well, I've already wrapped up that roll. And I left one of yours out. Because, well, I figured with how nice you are and everything, especially when we get you a couple old fashions, you'd let me keep it. So I kind of did ahead of time. But given that, here at the end of this roll, which is coming up right now, this is Eric Maith's coin. Last coin in the roll. Let's check it out. It's going to be a normal. I hate to end on a downbeat, but that's what happened. Alright, so we're done with this. Let me count out the die varieties for you. Look at that stack. Telling you what, man, there's a bunch of RPMs in this. Alright, so we got what? Sissy, Taco, Indigenous Treasures. There's Carl, there's Doug, Frosty, Paul, Mark, Roger, Frosty, Stan, Sissy, Carl, Ant, Taco, Stan, Paul, Eric, Chubby Pop Chaser, Chuck, and Sissy. So Sissy got 3 out of 3 again in this roll. Now they're not wonderful, but they're good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it's not quite half, but yeah. Who's counting, right? That was pretty cool. Now, as a little celebration that Sissy allowed me to keep one of those double dies, I'm going to get it out. This is it right here. Coin number 9. This is from yesterday's roll. Look at this. Let's show this off under the scope. This is from the 48 roll yesterday. 1948D. Look at that. That's exciting to a die variety collector, I tell you what. Now you can also see it over here on the C. You can also see it when you turn it this way. You can see it on the N of United. It shows up down here on the A of America. And it also shows up on the R of America. You see that little slightly darker area. You can even see this on the inside of the R. See if I can get this to show up really well. It's kind of difficult to make it show up. Well, now the Discovery coin was actually the first one pulled out of the roll that was one of these. It goes to Jackalope Herdmaster. It was coin number 7. Or no, it was coin number 8. I'm sorry, it was coin number 8. And this one was coin number 9. But there are 2 other examples already headed towards Sissy. But this makes this important because not only have I never seen a Class 4 show up like this on the reverse of any wheat cent ever as to where it's showing up, but this is the very first double die reverse known for 1948D Lincoln cents. So it's a double whammy. But that's what that is. I appreciate it, Sissy. Thank you very much. And I've already got Jackalope's photograph for the website. I wanted to photo the first one. That's it for now. I got about an hour and a half or an hour and 10 minutes until our next reveal comes up at 1 p.m. Got to eat lunch and do a couple of other important errand runs. I've got the auction started for this evening. Going to put it together and get everything done. And I should have that list up by 4 p.m. today, 4 or 5 p.m. today. So then we start the auction at 7. So you get a couple hours to look at everything before the auction actually starts. I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great afternoon. And I'll see you in an hour for the ones who are coming back. Have a good one.